Hi, I'm Andrew, an entrepreneur and a computer science student,
Hi, I'm Verene, a psychology major student.
and you're now listening to the Ink Thoughts podcast, where we ponder and talk about incongruous thoughts ranging from our daily life to the human mind. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the new episode of Ink Thoughts podcast. And first, I would like to congratulate Verene. I believe that you have completed your exam and actually you have graduated, right?
Yeah, that's why I have a very complicated feeling. Like usually after exam, you feel very relaxed and excited because you don't have to worry about that anymore. But now it's like I just click on that submit assessment button and then suddenly I graduate out of a sudden. It's like very
And
complicated.
then you're actually unemployed.
Yes.
Okay, it's time to find a job now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So this week, this topic is actually chosen by you, where we're exploring. Okay. Before we talk about what we're exploring, let's talk about multitasking. I believe we can all agree that multitasking is bad, right?
Yeah.
Why would you say it's bad though?
To be honest, very long ago, I actually think that maybe multitasking is something not that bad because at the same time you can finish quite some stuff. And I even remember last time I went to an internship interview, and then that I'm not sure is that the HR or someone else actually asked me a question about am I capable of being multitasking?
So they actually prefer that their employee multitask.
Yes. But
Okay,
after
surprised.
that, I think back of this situation, and I guess maybe we all have different definition of multitasking. Maybe that they wanted to find someone that maybe something come up in the middle of your work and you can quickly respond to that or something. I'm not that sure because I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, understand. Yeah, so I would say that initially, I think since young, I've been thinking that multitasking is a good thing. So, you can accomplish multiple things at the same time. There's no bad to that. Like, well, why not do both of the homework at the same time? You know, one is like as long as both doesn't need so much thinking, like I can
Yeah.
do both of them at the same time, or even play games while you're doing homeworks, all this kind of stuff. It's like, as long as it works, like why not? But it was until like very, very recent. I'm not sure what's the societal perception on this before, but for me, it felt like it's only like this within this decade. I mean, actually, maybe 2010 to 2020 is that people started to think that multitasking is bad. But maybe it's because that I only started exploring into multitasking this period. So I feel like only this period that people start thinking that's bad. But yeah, after all those research and stuff, people generally say that you can't split your
Attention.
your focus onto two things, and it's better to fully focus on one single thing, get it done, get it complete, get it completed, and then only go on to another one. Because when you're multitasking, you're actually switching focus very fast, so
Yeah.
it's actually unhealthy, and then it's not efficient at all. Yes. So yes, now so this week we are trying to explore something more special. We are asking ourselves, should we multitask during leisure? Since multitasking on work, on things that's important is bad, so should we multitask during leisure? Have you tried this before, Verene?
I'll say yes. I can recall myself turning on the TV, lying down on the sofa, and then while I watch the TV show, I'm actually scrolling through my social media.
But are you actually watching the TV?
I guess I'm listening to the TV.
But do you actually like do you think you actually remembered like what's the content of your of the TV that you're listening as you're scrolling through your phone and stuff?
I think I remember just that I miss a lot of details.
Okay. Like Yeah. How do you define the details? How do you define the details?
Like you generally know what's happening on that show, just that maybe some little stuff that you are not aware of, like how did they get it here or something.
Details. So basically, it sounds like basically you are not missing out on the details. You basically just miss out a huge chunk of it, so you actually don't know like the story of the like TV show, isn't it? Because if you talk about details, I would say that because that's why I was asking you like what do you mean by details? Because at least for visually, you know that you know this you know this guy is doing something, but of course when you missed out on the details, you don't know what he's wearing. You don't know what's his hair color. You don't know what shirt is he what shoe is he wearing, what's the color of his shoe. Like this is what we call details, right? But let's say if you're talking about like you're listening to it. I from what you said, it sounds like you literally just you zone out for that period of time, so you weren't actually listening. That's why you actually missed that part, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I think I didn't say that clear enough. Is that I'm constantly switching my attention from the TV and my social media. Like I spend like maybe 30 seconds watching the TV show, and then 30 seconds on my social media, and yeah. So I'm not missing out the whole chunk of that part. Just that I'm not that how to say I don't understand as much as those people who focus their attention on that show.
I still can't get it though, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like
okay, so from what I understand is that okay, just now you said that you missed out the whole chunk, so that's like totally you zone out. But now what you're saying that you are constantly switching focus, which is how multitasking works, how multitasking. But then you say that you're constantly switching, and then you don't know how the movie you don't know the movie as much as other people do.
I mean those details. I'm referring to those details.
Like details, like what how do you define the details? Like what I said, like if I've missed out on the details visually, I know the story. I don't miss out the story, because details for me is like the color of the shirt, the color of his hair, what shoe is he wearing.
I mean, I understand that. I understand the story of that show. Just that I miss out those details, like what you say. Maybe the shirt that person is wearing.
But you're listening. But you're listening because I'm using an example from visual. You know, now that you are listening, you of course I'm trying to understand like what's the definition of your details for auditory wise, because like I'm using visual as an example to say that when you are not focusing visually, you missed out on the colors, because of course you know the story, you focus on something else, you focus on the action. But then now let's say you're listening it, you don't focus on the details. It's of course I understand that you're not focusing on details, but it's impossible that you don't it's impossible for you to know the color of their shirt, even if you listen to it, like you focus on it, right? Isn't it?
Okay.
Like are you telling me that you can hear colors?
No. Okay, let me make myself clear. Okay. At the beginning, I say that because I didn't really clearly say that I'm switching my attention between the TV show and my social media. But now I'm referring that I'm actually switching my attention between that two platforms. So if you're referring to the auditory part, I'll say maybe I don't remember exactly what they say. Like sometimes you can tell the story by saying exactly what that person has said, but I just generally know the story, just that I can't remember what they have said exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better. Then. So
Uh-huh.
I was like thinking like you talk about you're actually listening, and then you said that you miss out on the details like the colors and stuff. I was like, how does that make sense? That doesn't make sense at all. But yes, so well we have cleared our misunderstanding. Let's get back to it. So do you think it actually works?
um, I think actually I have different opinion. I don't actually think this is a good thing because you already have such a maybe shorter time to relax and so, but you don't really immerse yourself in that relaxation process. You get what I mean?
Okay, I understand. But to be honest, I don't think that watching TV is relaxation though. If we talk about this, I will go into talking about resting and actually leisure. Resting and leisure is
Mm-hmm.
two different things, at least
Mm-hmm.
for me, because when you talk about resting, you are actually allowing your mind or your body to actually recover as in like uh, gaining more energy, so getting more energy back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we call resting. But let's say when you're doing leisure, it's kind of you are you are recovering from a psychological aspect, not on I think physiology
Mm-hmm.
is like more physical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not on the physiological aspect, it's actually on the psychological aspect where you kind of feed your mind because it has been stressed for like the full day. That's why
Mm-hmm.
you need leisure time. So for me, of course, I did this is something that I actually realized recently because there is gaming and resting, and then when you leisure you can game, but when you rest you are not supposed to
Mm-hmm.
game because you are tired, and then even when you game you might be tired because you didn't rest enough. That's why I reminded myself to think what I really need now. Do I really need to distress or do I need to rest? If I need to rest, I should take a nap. I
Mm-hmm.
should close my eyes for like 5 minutes or something. That is like proper rest, not to actually play games or even watch a video, something, because that actually drains my energy and attention. So I don't think that is really like mm, resting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for you think that's actually relaxing when you do that? Like watch TV, because you said that doing when you're multitasking it doesn't really achieve relaxation. So you mean that normally it is like relax it's actually relaxed to do that?
Yeah, I think yes, it's kind of relaxing to do that because you're just doing something that you don't how to say consciously using your energy to, let's say, accomplish a task or what. You just maybe sit there and
Are you
then
sure?
ah
I remember you being very heated up when like the character in the movie do something that's very stupid or idiotic, yeah, or something very bad, something very immoral. That's what I remember of you though.
yeah, but
Are you sure that you don't actually put your energy into that?
okay, I guess I put it in, but but I don't feel as tired after I as compared to the usual situation after I accomplish maybe a task or something.
Okay. And that okay, this I agree with. Like comparatively, the effort
Hmm.
that you have to put into both of this is actually different. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But yeah, yeah, going back to this, should we multitask? I think I do have experience on this as well. And my most recent one being actually, I don't really, my most recent one isn't really leisure, but I would say it's kind of like time hacking.
Mm-hmm.
I am partially having my leisure time, but because every time when I'm recording, I mean, like I'm editing the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
because what I need to do is I have to listen through the whole
Mm-hmm.
the whole audio after I've edited it to make sure that there's no parts which are like uh, too loud or something.
Thank you for your hard work.
Or the audio actually cracked. Yep. Maybe one day you should try it. But yeah, so because like it's like listening it to the audio clips, like hours are usually like 45 minutes or longer, with the longest being 1 hour and 30 minutes. So you just have to there's no point speeding it up. Like if I speed it up, I might miss the details because I can't expect everyone to actually to speed listen to the podcast. So I have to go through the whole thing at 1x speed. So what I do is actually I usually game. While I do that. I just run it in the background after I edited it, and I game and something. So I can, because I think this works. I personally think this works because like what you said just now, when you are multitasking, like when you're listening to TV, what you do is you missed out the story parts. But now I am actually not listening to the story, because the story can't be changed anymore. It's stories, whatever we have already said. Editing it won't change the story, but editing it changes the pitch level and the loudness, the peaks and the bottom. So whenever, like, your ear can actually catch that easily, because suddenly there's a sudden change where it suddenly goes very loud, or it's suddenly like the voice cracks or something, or you suddenly can't hear something, or suddenly there's a weird noise or something, like you hear, maybe like sometimes we accidentally record some external noise to it, so it's something that doesn't match. So my ear can actually catch that easily. Of course, there occasionally, let's say for the 1 hour and 30 minutes, maybe there's one or twice which I kind of doubt myself. Then I kind of pause my game, went back, and just rewind a little bit and re-listen to that part. But I personally think that this multitask actually works. I think that this multitask, because I'm not sure whether is it because this is something our ear is designed to do since humans are created, because the function of ear is not to understand language. Understanding language goes into your brain. It's basically your mind, right? Your brain. Your brain is doing that. But listening to the pitch level, I think it's your eardrum or something. I'm not very sure, but I think it's maybe your eardrum or something. So they actually tells you whether it's right or wrong before they enters your brain. So I think that this multitasking actually works. Of course, I do feel it does drain more energy. I can feel that, because gaming itself, it drains some energy. You have to put in a lot of focus while you're gaming, and then it just feels more tired when I'm doing multitasking this when compared to like normal gaming. But I personally think that this works. But other kind of multitasking, I do agree that I do something like what you've done before. But when I'm doing that, because I know that isn't effective at all, because you need strong attention onto both things. Basically, I think it goes back to my theory just now, where when it comes to processing in your mind takes in a lot of energy. When I'm gaming and doing the podcasting, my ear is fully working on the podcasting, with a minor bit required to listen to the game, but it's not 100% essential, because I am processing the game through my processing the game visually, which is putting all the tasks onto my brain. So like it's kind of parallel processing, like both are working in two different environments, so they don't interfere with each other. But if we talk about like scrolling your phone and watching TV, to understand the language and understand whatever you are reading on your phone or going through on your phone, it clashes. So you kind of only can work on one thing at once. Yeah, like I think I believe like all their theories saying that you are actually switching focus very fast. Basically, when we're doing this, maybe we put most of our focus onto reading. When we finish this paragraph, then we start processing whatever we're listening from the TV for a while before we get onto another paragraph on our phone. So the processing segments kind of it's like mixed up. But then we, depending on what we focus, usually we focus more on the phone. So we have small chunks of the TV parts coming in, but most of it is a phone. It's all the phone contents. Just that when we are not working on the phone content, then we started processing the TV, whatever we're listening from the TV.
Okay. Just I mentioned about listening. I think our eardrum doesn't process what we listen. It sends signals to our brain.
It sends signals, but the thing is the pitch thing though, the pitch, all that thing.
Yeah, but then
because we're just talking about.
But our brain has a very good they can easily realize those extraordinary pitch that stands out, that doesn't match with.
So it's still processed by our brain. Like it's like we don't have an existing function in our ear.
Yes. Our ear sends signals to our brain, but then because our brain has that function of noticing those.
I think it's something like it's unconsciously. It's like a very, very low level function that we can do it very, very unconsciously. So that like they are so used to doing this, they are so used to recognizing it, that it doesn't need to like search for, let's say like a computer theory where they just have to search for the files to match to understand this language or something, understand this word. Whereas the pitch is like, it's literally there. It's like it's like intuition in intuition. Like it's for our brain, it's actually intuition. Like when we listen to it, it feels like we know it immediately. Like our brain thinks so as well. But whereas for like understanding word, we feel like when we see this word, we understand it immediately. But in fact, our brain don't understand it immediately. They actually went and search it. So I guess this is what I will say. I'm not sure like, this is the best way of talking about this. But yeah, I think it works this way. But yes, multitasking. Do I have any other experience? Because leisure time. This interesting thing. Do you think, because multitasking during leisure, a lot of people do take sports as leisure, I believe, and they run while listening to music. Do you think that works? Have you tried that before?
No, I didn't try that before because I think it doesn't work for me.
It's safer, is it? Oh, it doesn't work for you?
Yeah.
Reason being?
I heard some people saying that they feel more relaxed and energized listening to music, and they don't feel so boring while they're working out. But I think it doesn't happen on me, so I might as well just don't listen to anything, just keep my mind blank, and so yeah.
It's the same thing for me. Like, because I've been running for like 5 years, and now I run. Every time I run, usually I run around 10 km, and then I complete a marathon. Haha, some flex over there. but yeah. So that's not the point. Ever since I start running, I never listen to music, and then I'm not doing that right now as well. I tried a few times, but the same thing applies to me. Like the same thing that applies to all those whatever we have said just now. It applies to running as well. When I run, because some people listen to audiobook, all this as well.
Yeah.
Basically, my mind can't focus. My mind can't process whatever that's going into my ears. Especially for audiobooks, because like music is still fine. You don't have to physically, not physically, but you don't have to actually process word by word or like what this rhythm means and what this music means, all that. So I guess that's still fine. But audiobook, all those that doesn't work for me. If I ever listen to that and then after my run, I will have to re-listen to that episode or something like that chapter which I have just went through. But music wise, because my experience with it, I guess I actually prefer thinking. I actually prefer like thinking about different stuff, just daydreaming and in general, or occasionally, because when you're running you still need to focus, where you need to focus on what's on the road, the road condition and all this, because we do road running, so it takes in some focus as well. But when I'm not focusing on those, I guess I just daydream in general. I guess it works, like music works for people, but I just don't prefer it.
Yeah. And I heard some people, they listen to podcasts while they are running as well.
Okay. Podcast while they are running. Let's not talk about running, because I kind of realized this. So, do you think listening to podcasts while driving works?
I
think you actually never tried that, because it's been a long time since you last listened, right? And then when you drive, I don't think you actually listen to that.
Yeah.
It kind of applies more for me, but not to you.
But I think it can work, because like last time when I was driving, I didn't listen to podcasts, but I listened to radio, and I actually know what they're saying as well. So I guess it's the same as
like how detailed do you like, how detailed is the information that you perceive?
Oh, okay. Then I guess sometimes there might be some part I might miss out, especially when I'm on certain places that I'm not so familiar with.
Oh, what do you mean by familiar?
I mean
unfamiliar. Not so familiar.
I mean I'm at a place that I'm not familiar with the road.
Okay. Understand. Yes. That totally makes sense. Yeah, because when you're unfamiliar, you spend more time looking out to prevent errors and stuff. Okay, that I understand. Because I noticed this recently, because I am following the Not Overthinking podcast. Until now, I actually haven't finished it though.
they had a lot of episodes.
I have no idea which episode am I at now, but I've been following that. And previously, when I started, I actually listened to 1x speed, normal speed like that. But then I got to know that Ali listened to podcasts and videos at like 2 to 2.5 times speed, which is crazy. And yes, I started doing that as well, and actually it works. It works actually. For videos now, I usually run at 1.75 or even 1.5 to 1.75. For actually educational video, I run at 1.75 to 2, which actually works. I find that it allows you to put more of your attention in it, because maybe it runs too fast.
Okay.
That's why it's not so boring. First thing is, it's actually not so boring anymore, because it runs so fast that there's less pauses and all this stuff. So you are more attentive onto what they're saying. So I think it works. But then for podcasts, so I've been listening, I think 1.5 to 1.75 as well, and it works once you got used to it. But depending on their original speaking speed as well, because they generally speak a bit faster. So some certain words you might not catch it, but I think it works. But now that you talk about maybe in unfamiliar places, or in maybe in junctions and all that, where there's no traffic light, where you need to look out on the traffic condition, maybe those conditions actually distracts me. So I kind of zone out on that part. So when I go back to it, like, so what did they talk about? Something like that. I was thinking about why I actually zone out on that, but maybe it's what you said just now, that actually that's the reason I zone out. Basically, maybe we're in unfamiliar territories, or usually in traffic conditions where there's no traffic light, so you have to actively make decision yourself on when to turn and all this. So that kind of distracts me. So I think, but actually, multitasking during driving is actually. Do you think it's actually safe? Well, I know that making phone calls is bad because you are actively making decisions. So your mind is thinking what you're going to say next. Whereas listening to FM radio or podcast, you are just perceiving stuff. Perceiving stuff, you need to understand, but then you don't need to, after understanding, you don't need to actually produce an output, which requires more effort. Do you agree with me?
Yes. I think it's actually an okay thing to do, because if we do nothing, we don't listen to anything, and we might easily feel boring, and it might become more dangerous when we feel very boring and then we become sleepy and so.
Okay, that's true. That is true. Yes, that I agree with you. Yeah, but that I agree with you. But you know what? I actually find that because last time I used to head out to my supplier's place around noon. So I go and pick up the stocks, and then I'll have a lunch there, and then I'll drive back. So I find that it's very dangerous actually, after like driving long journey after taking lunch, because I almost fell asleep for a few times. It's actually very very dangerous. So I realized that. So I make it a point to not actually eat lunch before I drive like long distance, because I'm not sure why, but that is the experience just makes me feel that it's actually very dangerous. We're not supposed to do that, even though like I'm not really multitasking or anything, like I'm listening to stuff, but I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. It just makes us like more tired in general. Maybe the timing or something. Maybe I'm too full. Yeah.
Because we generally know that multitasking is bad, but do you think it's always that bad?
No, like I said, I guess it kind of depends on which part of your brain I believe when you're multitasking, mainly you're using your brain, just depending on what which part you're using. Guess depending on which part you're using, the like what I said just now. But my example are generally not really like fully leisure. It's like partially leisure, like the podcast and gaming, that works. Even though it's not the best, because you are still sacrificing focus, but I think it works. I think it works, depending on you can't put two very very effort consuming or attention consuming tasks together. That won't work at all. But when you put in some simple task, and a very very simple task that you can fully do it unconsciously, and one attention consuming task, I guess it can work. But still, the thing is, there's still some sacrifice which will happen. Yeah.
But do you ever heard of this term called media multitasking?
Nah, nope. Nope, actually I never heard of it. Yeah.
I also never heard of it until I did a little bit of research for this episode, and then I encountered this term, which means that you're using more than one form of media or technology at the same time. And then it actually...
Can you repeat that?
Okay. Basically, it means you're using more than one form of media or type of technology at the same time.
Okay. So let's say if I'm using my computer and my phone at the same time.
Yeah. And then
is that considered media multitasking?
It actually brings a benefit, which that they found that when they asked the so-called participants to do a visual search task, the participants might might perform better at integrating the visual and auditory information, which I find it a bit surprised because basically we're saying that multitasking is very bad and then it even affect our brain health.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so the more you media multitask, basically using I guess we can say using two media at the same time, it helps you on connecting audio and visual.
Yeah.
Do you know the reason behind that?
I'm not too sure about that. I didn't run deep into it.
Oh, okay. So it is a research?
I think I read it on an article, but I think it's actually referring to a research.
Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting though. Okay, by listening to this, I still don't I definitely won't do all kind of like, because I actually think that media multitasking is actually very attention consuming. So it's a very tired process, because like what I said just now, like if you're processing two visual input at the same time, it will be very attention consuming. I have no idea what to say. But yeah. So basically it tires out our brain. So I wouldn't do that. Of course, obviously I wouldn't do that just so that I can connect auditory and visual elements easier. So I guess it maybe it kind of trains the brain. Since you didn't read the research, and then I have no idea about it as well, so we don't fully know the reason behind this, but I guess maybe it just trains the mind. It trains the mind into connecting things better. But yeah, definitely that's not something I would multitask for. Like
I personally won't do that as well, because I think I read from another article that mentioned that when we are a heavy multitasker, over the course of time, it might affect us that even when we are focusing just on one single task, we might become less efficient and effective, especially our brain. So I think
because we constantly, or are we constantly seeking for like other stimuli, or are we like reacting to other stimuli? So we are more easily distracted.
True.
Like when you are used to multitasking, because you kind of constantly seek to be more productive with your time, try to achieve more things at once, but in fact you are not, because you're just switching focus, but because you are just too used to switching focus, that now even without asking you to switch focus, you are still your brain already has this habit of like switching. Yeah, that is bad. Yeah. So but do you still multitask now?
I'll say.
Or do you actually have the do you think you have the urge of like multitasking? Yeah, do you have that urge thing?
I don't.
So whenever you see something that, hey, this might be possible, then you like the thought came out that, okay, this might be possible. I might be able to achieve these two at the same time. Like, then let's do it or something. Have you ever thought of that?
I think I rarely thought about this.
Okay. I think now I definitely still actually I have this I have all this kind of thought quite frequently, but if I try to recall back to the most recent one, I don't think I was persuaded to multitask. But yeah, I this thing came into my mind where when you realize that even though, let's say, I know that my multitasking is bad, so I actively try to not multitask. So many people might think that when you actively try to not do something, you are kind of liberated from this idea of multitasking. or when you actively try to not touch your phone, you are not addicted to your phone anymore. But I realized that maybe it's not really this way. Whenever your mind still tells you to reach out to that phone, even though after that you actually you can control your mind, denying it to do that, you are actually still you're still addicted to it in a brain level, in the emotion. I think they like to call it there's a feeling brain and a thinking brain, or you can call it the rational part of brain and the emotional part of brain. So the emotional part of brain is actually still tied up to this addiction. In my case, addiction to multitasking. Just that my rational brain can still control it, control it, but yeah, basically there's still that addiction there. This is something actually I realized. But going back to the topic, I guess we can kind of wrap up here. And we just end with this question: should we multitask during leisure?
Okay. I think that okay, if you want to, definitely we can, but I guess if it's possible, we should not do that, or else our brain might get maybe too used to multitask, and then all those negative effect of multitasking might affect us when we are trying to be productive as well.
Okay. I initially when you said that first sentence, I was like a bit skeptical. Like, yeah, should I just like not do multitasking for the sake of not doing it? Because like this is leisure, right? But
Yeah.
after you said the second sentence, that reminded me that because eventually it still kind of builds a habit. So definitely it's not encouraged to do something as long as it builds up a habit which will last.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do think that leisure, it is when you are doing leisure, just do leisure for the sake of leisure. Actually, I believe when I think I submitted this title, did I? The ideator wrote both of us actually thought of this. I have no idea, but yeah, at least when initially when I look at this question, I actually thought yes, maybe we should save time when we are multitasking. But now that I think of it, yeah, maybe no. Like, let's just enjoy what we are doing. Yeah, let's just fully enjoy what we are doing. There's no point saving time for everything. Sometimes it's what you like doing. Maybe after you save time doing it, maybe you won't like it as much anymore.
True.
Because it takes away the fun, or takes away the details of it. So you miss out on the parts where you originally enjoy. So yes, I guess we agree that maybe not definitely not multitasking in general, because first, we are not trying to build the habit. We are not trying to let our mind have the habit of multitasking at all. And then secondly, we just don't want to. We should just enjoy. Just sit and enjoy whatever you're doing. Leisure is leisure. There's no point trying to be productive when you're leisure. I guess it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense anymore. Okay. Yes. So, yep, we have arrived at the insights of the week section. So, Verene, any insights?
Any insights?
I realize you never write your insights there. Pardon? What?
Because over this week,
don't you have anything that you want to share, and then you just like put it there? But of course, this week I didn't write anything there. Actually, for the context, for the audience context. So basically, we have a Notion board where we just put Notion board where we just put all our podcast ideas there, and then what we do there, and we actually list down our insights there. So at least we remember. Otherwise, you will forget. So I didn't actually write this week. Initially, I didn't have any, but suddenly when we talk about the enjoyment part, it sparked me. I had a spark on an insight, which I actually it's a quote which I read this week. But yes, I want you to start first because I always started first. So yeah, I wanted to know why you don't write it there, or do you
Because
just generally don't have any insights?
to be honest, yes, because over these few weeks, I've been focusing on the exam more, and then I didn't actually go and reflect on much stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't actually.
But no, it's not generally like insights isn't just about reflecting, right? It can be like when you do your when you're working on your exam, you just found a brand new way, like you open up a whole new world, like wow, I can actually do exam this way, like it works or something like that. Like no such moments, like no such thing, or even like when you're reading, like but generally when you're doing anything.
Hmm.
No, I guess you
I
might need to work on your insights definition.
yeah.
That there's a lot of stuff that can be shared, like insights, like basically stuff that you. It is kind of it doesn't have to be totally novel, and yeah, it's just something that wow, you think that damn, this thing is something that is actually cool and something that might I feel like sharing to others. So yeah.
Mhm. I guess I'll need to work on that.
Yeah. But okay, I guess you just don't have an insight for this week then. Um, but yes, the insight I have is I read this particular quote. Let me search it up. So it's actually on my blog. I wrote it, I think, on my blog yesterday. Yeah, I literally just named that blog. An interesting quote I found. So, so yeah, I was reading the 4 hour work week, and I actually completed it. So now that's left is actually all the bonus content. It is a very good book, but it's all about taking action. So if you read it without taking action, there's really not much point to it. And yeah, so reading it and then you have to take action to actually change your life, something like that. But okay, going on to the title, the quote. So let me read it out. Thanks to the interstate highway system, it's now possible to travel across the country from coast to coast without seeing anything. Okay, so I believe you don't actually know what's the interstate highway system.
I don't know.
Okay, in interstate highway systems, it's just a it basically means expressway in US. So when I think in like the 20th century, somewhere in the middle there, they built this huge infrastructure project called the interstate highway system. So there's like highways connection throughout the country. So you can like how it works in our country. You can travel from from the southern Johor to northern Perlis just using the highway. You don't have to go through like traditional federal roads, all those small roads which only have like single lane and all that. So it makes it convenient, and then the speed limit is also higher. But the point that this quote is actually a quote by Charles Kuralt. Charles Kuralt. So I have no idea who it is, but who he is. But this quote is like good. Like it's like so good for me because I agree that like once we built all this highway, like what is it? We are now able to travel across the country from coast to coast without seeing anything. Like literally, when you compare to all those federal roads, you're able to go through cities because federal roads go past cities. Like it goes through the center of the city. Example, yeah, the federal road actually go through Kuala Lumpur, and then it goes through like Malacca City, go through Ipoh City. All that's why it is slow because there's like traffic congestion. The road is narrow and all this stuff. That's why it's slow. But the thing is, when you go through federal roads, you get to see the original beauty of like traveling and stuff. The beauty of traveling is like you get to explore all these things. And now I guess we switch it to another way where we are just like doing destination traveling. We don't enjoy whatever's that's on our route to the destination. We just wait to be at the destination and then we enjoy it. along the route, we just try to go through as fast as possible. Like of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that most of us kind of missed out. Like basically, like in life, where you just focus on the goal instead of the journey. You forgot about the process. You just work too hard. Like everyone is trying to be fast, trying to be so efficient. Like you just forget about the process. Actually, there is beauty in the process as well. You just care about the goal. Basically what we said just now, where we should just try to enjoy our leisure, because it's the leisure that is enjoyable, not getting the leisure done enjoyable. Yeah, so we should like just spend time to enjoy it, like this highway thing. Like. So yeah, because I always had this thought to I think I you know it as well. I wanted to travel across the Peninsula Malaysia, like around Peninsula Malaysia, around Peninsula Malaysia. So my original plan was like 10 days going through Malaysia, and then on parts where there's like expressway, I'll just take the expressway. It's fast, it's efficient. But then now I kind of have a shift where I think I want to maybe spend literally one whole month exploring Peninsula Malaysia, where I just go through federal routes. I think I will do that. But of course, assuming I have the time to do that, money is actually not a problem, because I won't mind spending more than a week at a month, not a weekend, maybe like 3-4 days, so I can kind of negotiate the price down, and then I'm not looking to spend on lavish hotels or this, because in 4-Hour Week they talk about this part where there is no point staying at the hotel where it's same in every single country.
Yes.
When you're traveling, you should go deep down into their culture. So why live in a hotel where it's like everywhere? Like you just get breakfast, like buffet breakfast, and then the same bed, the same bottle, free bottle of water every single day, housekeeping every day. Why are you going for that? So I think, of course, other people might enjoy that, but for me, I think maybe this exploring deep into the roots of one place is another kind of traveling as well. Just that, of course, I need the time. The time is something that I need to clear it out, and that's actually what 4-Hour work week is about. It's actually about making yourself more time, so that you only work 4 hours per week, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing it. I even had this thought where, because I'm traveling around Peninsula Malaysia in within a month, so if people just wanna casually drop by, as in like, let's say you're free this weekend, I'm currently in Penang. Feel free to take a just fly over to Penang, and then you can meet me there. Then you can we can travel together, and then after like 3 days you want to go back, I'll just send you to the airport, because I'm the one I'm driving around Malaysia, so I have the car there. So I'll just drop you off at the airport. Okay, bye. Like you're heading back after your weekend, and then I'll continue to travel. Maybe I'm in Terengganu, and then another friend want to come by and visit and travel. Yeah, feel free to. So it's kind of a cool idea that I feel like exploring, actually. So yeah, but yeah, the time factor, time factor is it's a thing that I need to work out first. Yeah. So you have nothing to share?
Yeah, I have nothing to share, but what you just said just now remind me of one thing. Now I know why I cannot relate to what we have always written in our primary school essay, saying that we enjoy the scenery along the journey. Yeah, because we always
because like
go through the highway.
We are running on the highway, and then like there's nothing. There's like palm trees. I guess there's rest stations, and then sometimes the car is traveling so fast where there is attraction, but the attraction doesn't build for like 10 km. So when the car drives so fast, it just ran past it, and then you just missed it. Like, damn, no sceneries for you. Well, I guess there are still some there's like hills and stuff along our highway, which is quite nice. But of course, you can't compare it to federal routes, where literally almost, I would say, comparing to 20% on the expressway, which is attraction, federal route maybe is like 70 or 80% of it is actually attraction. It is like the lives of the local.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing from you?
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
All right. I guess then that's it. That's it for this episode. Actually, I find that this episode is very interesting. We started with talking about should we multitask during leisure, and then we ended with talking about how we should value the process. Yeah, I guess that works out. That's why we shouldn't multitask during leisure. We should generally enjoy the process. Even I guess in normal productivity tasks, we shouldn't be so focused on just getting it done. We should enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, basically that's it for this episode. And thanks everyone for listening. And see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, do share with your friends and family and leave us a review on Apple Podcast. If you're not using an Apple device, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast website with a link in the show notes. If you have any feedback or thoughts which you hope that we'll discuss in the future, feel free to email them to us at hello@incthoughts.com, or alternatively, you can send us a private message on our Facebook, Instagram or Twitter with the username of incthoughtspod. Thanks again, and see you all next week. Bye-bye. Alright, what do you think of this episode? I actually quite like it. Initially, I felt like the part in the end is like the essential part. Wow. I love that a lot when when we really talk about time. Yeah, it's like valuing time, I guess. Yeah, I quite like the part in the end. The part in front is actually quite interesting. We explored about brain. I never thought of I never thought deeply about multitasking that way. Like, oh, okay. So there are multitasks that works because they don't use so much of your brain power, so they works. But then, of course, we don't want it to be a habit. What do you think? Just generally about this episode.
I think I actually.
Are you tired though after your exam?
A bit.
Exhausted.
A bit, but not as tired as last week.
Oh, really? Why?
I don't know. Maybe generally I have better sleep yesterday. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I had better sleep as well. Yeah, yesterday I slept so early. Not very early. Okay, 11. But I went up at like 10. Others time I went up at 11, then maybe 11:30. It's a bit better.
But yeah, I think I find this episode quite fun. Yeah, and whatever we have discussed, I think is quite interesting as well. But yeah, just so there's that awkward pause between both of us. You remember? Yeah, actually.
I'll actually cut that out.
Okay, I know. I know you cut that out, but I wanted to say that.
Okay, so I guess that if the audience didn't listen all the way to here, they actually won't know that. When they hear then they're like, oh, so there's actually an awkward pause. Yeah, in our podcast, it's not that perfect. We don't just talk. Okay.
But then actually during that before that pause, I my mind ran a bit blank. So when you asked me to continue, I actually don't know what to say suddenly. That's why I stopped that.
Well, you still came out with something. I'm glad you're spontaneous enough that you came out with something, which is very good actually. Yeah, because
yeah. So yeah, this is my opinion on this episode.
All right. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's a cool episode. All right. I guess that will be it then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's end it here.